there are some spoilers that have been released courtesy of Spiraling Sphere, because that's where I'm reading and getting the information from. And these spoilers are not really surprising, except one thing for me anyways, and that is that I thought that just because they are trying to extend the anime as much as possible, I thought that they would you know, expand this arc to the point where it would probably take like a year or two in order to get out of the arc, right? But it turns out they are not, and they are just going according to schedule or according to phases based on what we've seen in the movie. So I'm really surprised about that, and I think what they are going to do to make sure the anime does not surpass the manga is to eventually insert like 1 or 2 filler episodes after this, to make sure it gives the anime some time before it actually surpasses the manga, which is basically inevitable, right? Now, I think that is a good opportunity for us to learn how Boruto knows all these techniques that he uses in the manga, and I'm not going to say what techniques they are in case some of the people who are actually watching this video don't read the manga, right? So I'm going to give you episode 53 summary first, and just know that my voice is fucking up again, right? So that whole thing about me not being able to talk or eat anything basically is kind of like, that whole condition is coming back, right? So if my voice sounds a bit funny, then just know that it's very difficult for me to talk or let alone swallow anything at the moment, right? So episode 53, Himawari's birthday. In contrast to his classmates who have shown the desire to take the Chunin Examination, Boruto's refusal of the exam confuses everyone. During this time, Boruto's family is celebrating Himawari's birthday by having the whole family together for the first time in a long while. Boruto is grateful that his father Naruto is keeping his promise of celebrating Himawari's birthday together. However, that night, the Uzumaki family is visited by a guest, and we know who the fuck it is, and it's about time that this guy turned up, right? We know this is Uchiha Sasuke. At this point, it's not even a surprise, it's not even spoilers, because everyone that's watched the movie will know this, right? I have some information about what's about to happen, right? And we will get extended fights, okay? I was gonna do a video about that, but I always have some kind of time issues, but I hope I can make the video before the next episode comes out, right? So, episode 54, Sasuke and Boruto. Boruto's anger at his father for ruining his sister's birthday drives him to head to Naruto to directly talk to him. On the way, he comes across Sasuke. Fueled by his anger, Boruto attacks Sasuke, only to be subdued in an instant. Having experienced Sasuke's strength firsthand, Boruto asks to be taken in as his student. So, that basically explains why Boruto was outside. Basically, I thought he was chasing Sasuke, right? But he actually was going to Naruto to talk shit to Naruto whilst he was tired at night. So it basically gives us more information, and there is more information or more things they wanted to include in this movie, but they never got to. So I'm happy they are actually going over this, because this is not like Dragon Ball Super, right? This is not a negative thing. I think this is a positive thing, because unlike Dragon Ball Super where they did this before, that was it. The movie stuff was it. They just added a few things which basically made close to no difference at all. But with this one, they have a story which they wanted to tell, but because of time constraints they couldn't tell it. So now they are trying to tell it in full, and I think they are going to go a different direction and add more stuff to that, which is basically giving us a lot of stuff. I believe we are gonna get a backstory from Momoshiki and Kinshiki, right? So yeah, this is actually a good thing for them to go over the movie, and I'm actually excited for this arc, right? I'm excited for something, for what, okay? And this is something that we've already seen, but I'm excited for them to go over it again. Like, that's a good thing. So, episode 55, Scientific Ninjutsu. Boruto's training as Sasuke's student begins, but all Boruto has his mind on is to get the better of Naruto. So, as soon as his training hits a slight bump, he would immediately seek a solution from Sasuke. Also, to show his strength to his father, Boruto decides to take the Chunin Examination. During that time, the Jinchuriki Killer Bee is assaulted by a member of the Otsutsuki clan, Momoshiki, who has appeared from a different dimension, right? So Momoshiki and Kinshiki are basically traveling from dimension to dimension, and I think when you travel to another dimension, you open a crack, you crack space and time basically, and I think they have the ability to detect these cracks, right? And then whatever crack Sasuke created in order to come back to Earth, they basically followed and traced him to come back to where Kaguya was, right? But then again, I think they dropped Kaguya there on Earth to finish a job, but she ended up not finishing the job. So basically they kind of knew where Earth was and where the civilization and everything was. So I don't think this is the first time they've visited Earth, right? So people think that at the end of all this, Killer Bee dies, right? Because in the movie we didn't exactly know what happened to Killer Bee, but if you actually waited and looked at the credits, you would see that Killer Bee actually survived. So no, Killer Bee did not get his tail beast extracted, he just got chakra extracted, okay? And that's basically it. And I think they didn't exactly extract everything, because if they did, then both Killer Bee and the whole his tailed beast would be basically gone, right? So episode 56, Rivals Gather, okay? The Chunin examinations are finally beginning, and to that end, Genin from a multitude of villages are gathering at the village of the Hidden Leaf. Each of the Genin from the different villages are sizing one another up, taunting one another, resulting in high tensions. Finally, the first test of the Chunin examinations begin. So I think what they are gonna do is they are gonna imitate the whole Naruto Chunin exam thing, where everyone is at a collected location. Then people start looking at each other, checking each other out, and talking shit, and then maybe there's gonna be like a little beef or a mock beef kind of thing going on, where people demonstrate just a tiny bit of what they have in store basically, right? And then the tensions increase. Like, I think this is a very good opportunity in order to increase tension, even though we know what's going to happen, right? We know what's going to happen to Boruto, Sarada, and Bitsuki. However, we don't know what's going to happen to Metoli, Iwabe, and Denki, except from the fact that they lose, but we don't know what the matches are going to be like, right? And we don't know what all these other teams are capable of. So we are definitely going to be seeing new jutsu, new techniques, and new combinations and all that kind of stuff. So this arc is bringing a lot of things to the table, and I'm actually happy that that is the case. The anime passing the manga is something that is inevitable. It is going to happen no matter how long they decide to delay this whole thing, right? Because it is monthly, not a weekly thing, and even if it was weekly, it is kind of too late, because the anime covers more chapters than a mangaka could make, right? So that's why filler episodes exist. So it's inevitable, and that's going to happen, and it's not a bad thing, right? Because that means they only have to focus on one story, and then they can just tell it in the manga later on, right? So the manga basically has to play catch up, right? So episode 57, the reason that I can't lose, I think is basically when Boruto decides that he needs the Kote in order to win instead of using his own power. But the only question I have is, based on seeing Boruto's skill, he should be able to take out a lot of the people in the Chunin exam, unless they actually buff up these people and give them other abilities than what we actually saw in the movie, right? But in the manga, they basically did the same thing, and apparently the manga is connected to the anime. So basically they nerfed Boruto if he's going to be using the Kote, right? Because we've seen him use like wind style and all that kind of stuff, so we know what he's capable of, and he should definitely be able to take out a lot of people. But yeah, that has been the spoilers for you, and a lot of information about the movie, right, and the extra stuff we are going to be getting. I'm going to make a video about that hopefully before the next episode airs, which is basically next week, right? With that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on whether you think it's a good thing that they are basically rehashing this arc and adding extra information. Personally, I think it is, and I want to know what you think about them nerfing Boruto, right, in the comment section down below. With that being said, subscribe and hit that notification button. You actually have to hit the notification button and select exactly what kind of notification you want, right? Because YouTube keep changing things and not telling the content creators. But yeah, I have nothing more to say. Have a nice day, and bye.